you to some extent with like pylons and probes and stuff. Protoss is probably the more flexible of the races. That was a loading time and a half. Holy shit, guys, down here in the bottom left-hand side. The killer. The Massa Slayer. The fucking killer of the best Terran in America. Well, North America anyway. Kelazar's from South America. Oh, actually, fuck. Mage's in Mexico's North America. The second best Terran in North America. The slayer of him, the Zerg player, coming out swinging so far today in the WCS qualifiers. It is Firefox. Up here in the top right-hand side, in the blue, the Terran player, it is Vindicta. Now, I mentioned how he used to, you know, hack a little bit on ladder back in the day, etc. Vindicta, as far as I know, is very reformed. He has become a very legit player. I play a ton on ladder. Got really good at kicking me in the balls because I kept double disruptor production proxying him and winning these games with these disgusting disruptor cheeses. He always had a few choice words for me after those games, which was part of the fun. And then he got really, really good at shutting it down, and I cannot beat him with disruptor cheese anymore. Vindicta is an incredibly good Terran, has made it into Challenger multiple times, and really is a very strong player. Not taking any chances here, going for a very early SCV scout. Is going to see that it is hatch first. I mean, you see a player like Firefox who's taken down Massa. You don't want to take any chances. You want to check in his base. You're like, all right, what is this? What weird shit are you bringing out? And he's going to see a completely normal opening. Just hatch gas pool. So Vindicta is going to... Ooh, it's SCV having a bit of a look-see. Probably just going to go home. Is a Reaper expand. I wonder if it'll be a 2-on-1. Where's the command center? 500 minerals, no command center. That command center is like 10 seconds late for no reason. He was microing his SCV around. Vindicta coming into this series a little bit nervous. That's 100% a bit of nerves there. Now, are we gonna see, I think we're going to see a factory. Yeah. So, depot there, Marine after the Reaper. Factory will come out now. Reaper will go to a bit of pressure. And it is just going to be Reactor after that Marine. So this Overlord, of course, won't want to go too deep when that Marine comes out and starts shooing it away. SCV just going to go back to mine. Back at home, 2 workers have been pulled off gas, and a drone is hiding at the third base. Now, does Vindicta just go to the natural kills lings, or does he hunt for it? That drone hiding under the peach blossoms. Reaper comes in, says, oh no, there's no hatch just yet. Comes into the natural, and the skirmish begins. Reaper, of course, being the more mobile unit, the Zerglings just trying to buy time until that Queen comes out. Pulling the weak Zerglings to the back is Firefox. Good play. Reaper bounces the Queen with a grenade. Of course, that grenade does pretty pitiful damage these days, and Firefox immediately drops the third, and immediate creep tumor as well. It's a shame Vindicta didn't hang around to check for that, because that creep tumor is up now. Whereas if the Reaper gets the snipe on that, if you like look like you can run away, come back in, you get that tumor, it can be really nice. But now that's a great head start on the creep. Third base is up. I mean, this is not crazy bad. This is pretty standard stuff to happen. It's just one of those things where I feel like if you get that first creep tumor, the Zerg is pretty upset. Interestingly, we're seeing 2 Overlords over here. A lot of players only bring 1 Overlord across these days because everyone opens up with a Phoenix if they're Protoss, a Viking if they're Terran. Hypersova, thank you so much for that 3-month resub. Sorry I didn't call that one out before. I got caught up in my train of thought. Overlord's going to come through, sees the starport, knows it's swapping onto a tech lab. What else would it possibly be doing? Hellions and Reaper going to come do some pressure. And extra Queen starting up, but a little bit of a supply block here for Firefox. Only starting an Overlord now, and only 1 Overlord. Oh no. It's really bad. This is going to delay the extra Queens. That opens up a lot of weakness against Hellbats, even Hellion run-bys. And yeah, is only now building an extra Overlord as well. Big mistake there by Firefox. Was really smooth macro up to that point. There's great creep spread though. There is fantastic creep spread. A few more lings on the way. That Baneling Nest, very early. More drones are coming down, though. Is going to be Cloak and Banshees, and a fast stim behind that for Vindicta. Now, that means he's wanting to probably add a second and third barracks next. Otherwise, I think he's going to lift the factory. But he might want to kill the Overlord first, deny the vision. Because there's not that much point getting stim so fast unless you're going to go into a pretty fast 3-racks. Oh, no. Firefox gets us around. These Hellions are probably going to get trapped. 2 Hellions on their own don't pack that much of a punch. 1 Hellion just got surrounded by like 3 Zerglings. Holy crap. The driver of that Hellion definitely didn't pass his license test. Hellion's going to turn and fight with the Banshee. Try and clean up these Zerglings, but already taking a bit of damage. Firefox with a nice trade. The creep is getting out of control. Holy crap. Firefox. Oh my god. Kills his own creep tumor. That's got to be an accident. I don't think it matters, but that's just hilarious. Baneling spores on the way. Still no lair or upgrades though. So Firefox doesn't have the craziest economy, but great control over everything that's happening in this game so far. I've really got to question the lack of the lair and Evo chambers at this point though. No fourth either. Vindicta's like, what are you doing, dude? Scanning? It's going to kill creep. Vindicta's like, okay, this is an odd, you know, it's a lot of creep. I'm going to scan immediately to get rid of that, but already it's spreading out the other sides. If these queens can get back out there and respread, that's crazy. Evo and lair, like Firefox is just, this is one of these dangerous players, guys. If you let them get that creep out too much further, you're in trouble. And look at this. This Banshee is meant to stop the creep, and he's like, oh god, it's already gone even further. He needs to leave the Banshee here. This Banshee here trying to slow down the creep on that end. Vindicta's realizing this is the big threat in this game. He's not going to get a lot of worker kills. There's spores up. So he's just going to leave these Banshees out here, but already creep respreading in the middle as well. Third command center's down. Double upgrades are on the way. Vindicta doing a big macro play. Vindicta's specialty is late mid-game. He's a player who is very good at kind of just setting up a big pre-spread on the edge of creep and not committing. Like, he's a player who often will just play an entire game without ever going on creep. Ooh, don't think scan's going to run out. Does barely get that creep tumor. This creep tumor's on the south side, out of control. This creep tumor is starting to push its way forward, but we'll need to replace that creep in the north. Vindicta doing a good job to slow this down. 1-1 is on the way. About 25 seconds behind for the Zerg player. Baneling speed's well-timed, and I'm very curious to see if we see Hydras or a Spire coming down with the next little bit of gas from Firefox. Firefox has got 3 mineral lines, pretty much fully saturated right now, swapping into full unit production, and there's going to be a Hydra production, a Hydra den after this, so interesting to see. Vindicta very focused on the third. He's going to send a double drop out, trying to clear this creep on the south side. Obviously wants to open up this as a push path for siege tanks later in the game. Might distract with that and dive Hellions on the north and try and just kill a lot of drones. That could work out well. These rocks going down now. Firefox wants to get that creep control back out. That's clearly a focus for Firefox. Playing this big macro-ling Bane style. And oh no, those Hellions just get trapped. Nice scan on this side. Is going to take out a few of these creep tumors, but some of them will survive. If you can defend these Marines, won't be too hard for Firefox to regain that control. But ooh, good positioning. Focuses down a few Banelings. A little bit slow on picking up those last few Marines. And these Queens very happy to take this trade. They are going to damage that medevac a lot. The Lings rallying up. Good defense by Firefox. Even gets a medevac with 2 Marines in it. Okay, Firefox is looking good. Only now, after shutting down a pressure, Firefox says, let's drone the fourth. 9 drones in production. Creep spreading through the middle. Creep spreading through the north. Needs to get this creep going on the south. Is going to do it. Great controlling play by Firefox. This is very impressive. I thought we were going to see cheese out of Firefox. Did not think Firefox was the favored player at all. But, you know, looks like there's a reason Firefox took down Massa earlier. Double Banshee on the north. We got the drop here as well coming in. And this is looking very sexy. Very, very sexy here for Firefox. Good attempts to slow down the creep spread, though. Picks up the Marines. Banshees are just being dicks. They're just like, look, 0 risk creep clearance, you know? All the Marines can get picked up. The Banshees can clear that up. But Hydras are now hitting the field. And as the Hydra movement speed finishes, Hydra range is already done. Like, that's where things get very dangerous with these drops. But he's slowing it down. He's taxing Firefox's APM. Firefox not going crazy high on the APM is going very fast up to 8 gases. You'll normally see people not take the gases on this base because they play a heavier Zergling style at pro level. I personally play the gas heavier style myself. I love the Hydra count. Coming in on 2 fronts is Vindicta, aka Nero is his name on the bracket, if you guys are looking at that bracket. Hydra Bane comes in on the south. Ooh. Not quite able to shut that down, but good pressure from Vindicta. And as I said, Vindicta just wants to take a fourth, wants to build a gigantic army, and he wants to bait the Zerg into attacking him. He's also usually immune to counterattacks. I'm actually surprised we don't see a bunker or a siege tank here. Like, if there's one guy you can lose to by trying to counterattack because he's like left like 50 Marines and 2 siege tanks at home, it's Vindicta. Very patient positional player. I can see his mechanics have gotten a lot better, you know, he's coming in from multiple angles and stuff, and he's like, okay, you know, he's good at clearing creep, but he's not doing that at the same time as risking his frontal army, because I never think of him as a multitasking god. I think of him as this slow positional pushing player with giant macro behind it, and we see that. 6th and 7th barracks are on the way, Marine tank with a big pre-spread. Firefox jumping the gun here. Only half of his army is here. He's distracted by the double drop in the main. Vindicta, yeah, he sets up the frontal push, drops in the back. Very methodical, but he'll never step deep on creep. He clears the tumors, pulls back. He's going to start edging forward. He's unsieged those tanks. This double drop being a pain in the ass. Hydra's actually looking like they're going to come in from both sides. These queens going to try and shoo these units over. Hydra's take out one of the drops. Oh, no. Those medevacs do take some damage. Bit of a frame lag there. 3-3 is on the way for Vindicta. No hive even started for Firefox. Firefox is just 2-2 Hydra Bane for life. And don't get me wrong, with the big supply lead, the big army supply lead, and the bank, I'd love to see a wraparound. The problem is these tanks are so inaccessible. I think as Firefox, you need to come in from the right-hand side. And there we go. Hydra's Bane starting to flank from that side. It's just very scary. If you end up on any flank with no Banelings in position, the Marines can suddenly just cleave through the Hydras. But as this flank goes, is it going to be a flank or a counter? I'm not 100% sure. Just baiting the Hydras and Banelings in over and over. Vindicta doing such a good job with this push. So many units back at home, but I think Vindicta's at the point where it's like, dude, you've got to reinforce. I think you've got to reinforce this. He's trying to just bait these units into this position. I think it's time for Firefox to get these units up and collapse on this. Firefox is taking a very long time. Only now building the infestation bit. Firefox is struggling. I think Firefox is looking for information right now. Is like, look, I got to figure out what's happening. These units, oh no, actually these tanks are spread. So not a bad angle. You can see these pre-spread coming in from every single side, but the reinforcements are there for Vindicta. Is it going to be enough? F2A move. Full Zerg power. Firefox coming in from every angle. The Hydra's down here. Key. They're going to take out those siege tanks across the gap. The Ling and Bane numbers are insane. These tanks very slow to siege. It looks like Vindicta is about to get rolled over. There are too many Lings, Banes, and Hydras. And with the tank count being reset, the upgrade's still even right now. 3-3 not just done yet. The Ghost's not out. The army not consolidated for Vindicta, and I said he does need to reinforce. He took a bit too long. I love the careful setup from Firefox. Surrounds that, shuts it down, and it looks like Firefox, the Slayer of Massa, deserves his namesake. It doesn't look like it was just a fluke against Massa. It looks like it was a beastly macro play, I would imagine. Hydras, Lings, Banes rolling over. The Ghost getting wrecked. Morphing Banelings in the natural. That's when you know the Terran's dead. You hear the screams of these Ghosts going down. Hydras push up the ramp. The tanks are gone. Some contaminates even on the barracks. And GG. Firefox takes game number 1. I am very impressed. Have any former hackers or cheaters gotten to be top tier after, says Opos Lol. Pretty much half of the players who are good in Wings of Liberty hacked at one point. Like in the very early days of Wings of Liberty, hacked at one point or another in Brood War when they were very young. Maybe not half, but I know... Did Damaga hack, or did he just get caught win trading? Like, people who are heroes. Guys who are very good in the early days. I think TT1. I wasn't around in those Brood War days. You need to talk to, like, Artosis and Cats and stuff. They'll tell you there was a lot of guys who hacked, who actually got really good later on in Brood War after they'd been caught for it and they reformed, or then in StarCraft 2 in the early days they'd hacked back in Brood War. They never hacked in StarCraft 2. But it's always natural that eventually some kid who gets overly egotistical hacks a little bit, gets caught, gets in trouble. The reason he did it is because he just wants that status in the game, and if he wants it bad enough, some of them do actually train hard enough to get incredibly good at the game and legit. So let's move the conversation away from there, because it's been many years since Vindicta hacked, so I don't want us to dwell on it. I just wanted to clarify that for you guys. It was on ladder. I don't think it was ever in a tournament or anything like that. Definitely, I think hacking is one of these things which I never will understand, really. But at the same time, I think being able to forgive and have empathy for people who do things you don't understand is an important thing for us all to have, especially when they reform and become super legit. Speaking of super friggin' legit, down here in the bottom right, the player who has come out of nowhere to burst onto my radar, at least, his name is Firefox. Fantastic Zerg player. Up here in the top left-hand side, in the blue, the Terran player, it is Vindicta. You think Zerg's the favorite player, not Firefox, says Ram. Well, actually Vindicta was the favorite, so... Your balance joke falls on deaf ears, Ram! So, anyways, while we're here in this early game, I am going to look up a Ligulac Firefox. Should have done this while I was waiting earlier. Let's take a look. So I don't know where Firefox is from or anything. There's a French player called Firefox. I imagine it's someone else. Or maybe he's living in America now. There's a lot of Firefoxes. This is a common name. So, yeah. It's either a French player playing for Orbital Colossus. No, that doesn't make sense. Because he's been playing in EU Cups. It's only come up with a French player. Maybe he's studying in the US? So he's a resident there or something and he can play this? I don't know. I don't know who Firefox is. Maybe someone can fill me in. I don't know the history, and that's part of the fun here of these qualifiers. I get to learn about new players. So if anyone knows Firefox's backstory, hit me up. Once again, very safe SCV scout from Vindicta. Is going for a factory opening once again. Firefox hiding the drone to go take that third. Reaper's going to come in. Says, "Ooh, give me a nibble." I would have dived on that drone 100%. But Vindicta has, I believe, gone to gas first, so I can understand him pulling back. Knows the queen will be out pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, if you force a spore trick, it's actually very expensive for the Zerg, just because they lose mining time as well as like the 20 minerals. It's not bad. It's not bad. But Vindicta just going to play it safe. Does get a Zergling or two. Sees the hatch. Oh, this is what I was talking about. If he went for that creep tumor, he could have got it, but he's a bit late now. If he went straight for that, he would have got it. If you know your opponent favors the fast creep tumor, and you look for it like that, especially because he killed a few Zerglings, if he got that, it would have been great. Nonetheless, he's going to be just swapping over here, getting the Hellion production started. Nice fast start, but this was actually a barracks gas, because that is, otherwise you'd have your first two Hellions out by now. So this is just a barracks gas build. Fair enough. That's why his Reaper was there quite fast, because obviously if you build your gas earlier, it delays your barracks, delays your Reaper by a few seconds. Very small thing, but the more impactful thing is how fast your Hellions and tech come out. With this build, you tend to build these Hellions, these starport units, just slightly later, but the advantage of that is you have more minerals, which gives you a little bit more freedom to squeeze in an earlier third command center. But you cannot create as much trouble with the Hellions and the Reapers. Remember, we saw earlier today Clem against TLO on 16-bit, just like causing so much havoc with those super fast Hellions and Reapers in that second game on 16-bit against TLO, and he tore it up because of that. He got in such a good position, so always interesting to see the differences between a gas first and a barracks gas timing. Viking's going to come out first this time and shut down the Overlord vision. And straight into a medevac after that. Very fast stim once again. Does favor that. He's actually going Widow Mines. Oh, it's going to be a Widow Mine drop. This is a really good meta build. Sometimes the Zerg just gets so caught off guard by it. It really causes problems. So it's just 4 Hellions and then into a 4 Widow Mine drop. Very cute. Very cute. Excuse me. Burping into my microphone like a true gentleman. DZ, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate your support. Welcome to the pigsty. Hope you enjoy your stay. We've also had JPPPPP with the 2-month resub. Thank you very much for the support. Notice this Viking is clearing up the Overlord vision. It's going to get rid of this Overlord. Once you've seen there's a Viking on the map, you should pull these Overlords further back. This one especially, I think, should be like there. So it sees a drop, but not so early. As it is, this Viking's going to feast on a bunch of these Overlords that are exposed out of the map. But once again, Firefox's initial creep spread is insane. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, these Hellions are like, I've got to stop this creep tumor spreading. Because if this gets out far enough, like, there's no stopping it. And check it out. The vision's gone. Firefox is bringing queens to the front. There's nothing in the main base. Oh, no. Viking is going to go down. That's a bit of a mistake there. Doesn't matter. Uh-oh. That Widow Mine there sucks. That one there kind of sucks. These two are going to be juicy, though. He even target fired. Oh! Oh! Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That was an inspiring Widow Mine drop there. A couple of the Terran viewers might have to change their pants after that one. 13 kills, and most importantly, it's still alive, so it can come back in. He's got to leave some lings here ready to kill it if it comes in again. Yeah, leave a queen on the edge. The creep spread is the big advantage, though. If Firefox can just re-drone really quickly here and is going for it, yeah, fast fourth as well. If he can get the creep out in front of that fourth, It's going to be pretty beautiful because like with this 4th base, if you get your creep out here, it's just very awkward for the Terran to push. Like what do? Just push through the middle where you can flank from all sides? I don't even know, man. 4 Widow Mines dive into the natural this time, and already 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 or 5 kills go down. Bringing it up to 19 worker kills, saves 3 of the Widow Mines. Medevac gets out of there as well. These 2 queens could intercept. Firefox not watching though, just trying to recover the economy. Lets them out of there. Missed opportunity there. But you know what? Firefox is saying, you know what, I'm taking damage, but I'm not getting thrown off. A lot of players would go, oh, I'm taking damage. But Firefox says, you know what? Yeah, I can take damage, but if I'm spreading creep non-stop, it almost negates it. You know, it's this frustrating thing where the Terran is all focused too much on killing the drones, not enough on the creep. And now Vindicta's like, God damn, this is getting out of control. I gotta clean this up. But already it's like, okay, you just chopped off the tip of the creep. But it's more than just the tip that's needed here. We need a passionate embrace of Marines on creep tumors, and it looks like Vindicta is going to go deep here. Isn't going to just leave it at a poking or a touching of the tips. Is going to go full dive. Firefox with the Ling counter attack, something he didn't do too much in the previous games. Remember, he's taken a lot of damage throughout here, but a nice little Ling run by. Doesn't get too many SCVs though. The Marines and Hellions pull a quick worker pull. I told you guys, Vindicta is so solid versus counterattacks. Doesn't take damage, and it looks like Firefox is a bit tilted because Firefox took forever to spend the money, but finally, I was waiting for Hydras. Oh, 58 drones. Much faster Hydras this game. Bane speed is done. Vindicta, you better pick up. You better pick up. You better pick up. Get out of there. And good pickup. Baneling's not able to connect. Widow Mines tanks a Rando Liberator mixed in. 2-1 upgrades on the way. This is a bit of a scrappier game. Vindicta doesn't even have Marines in that bunker yet, but is realizing he can take a bit of an aggressive step forward. Firefox starting to have the creep pushed back. The initial start to the creep was great, but Firefox having trouble getting established and seated comfortably in the mid game. These queens on the edge, got to get those queens out of there. If he loses those, the creep is going to be really hard to respread. Already down to just 4 queens. And I think the creep spread, it started so well, but it's going to turn around now. Firefox needs an incredible fight to get back in control of this game. We got 1 tank, 2 mines, a Liberator kind of facing the wrong direction. Bane's just going to dive. They're going to dive towards the Marines. The Widow Mines mostly just hitting Zerglings here, but the Marines pull behind the siege tank. And even though the Liberator goes down, that's a good trade. Anytime that many Banelings go down, you open the units lost tab afterwards and you say, ooh, that was bad for Zerg. If the Marines are still alive, all the Banelings died, you know it was good for the Terran. And the problem there is that Firefox doesn't really have map control. Like, Vindicta's choosing to rotate home, maybe rotate to a new angle, pressure creep there. But Firefox doesn't have that, like, oh, I crushed a fight, even though it was inefficient, I'm just respreading creep, and I've got map dominance, and I've got 80 drones. No. Is starting to saturate that base fully, but I think might have pulled a few too many workers out of the main. Let's see, natural third. Yeah, third base is a little undersaturated. So the fully saturated 4th is a little bit of a lie. It's a good economy for Firefox. Is going to look for another counterattack. Ooh, Ling's on the bunker. Good surround. That bunker was not protected well enough. But these Marines are going to come forward and help protect that. The right-hand side tip gets nipped off. And at this point, Vindicta really has gone for a deep and passionate embrace. But Firefox returns the hug with a Baneling explosion all over the face of those Marines. Vindicta's going to try and clear the left-hand side. Firefox's supply is out of control. I mean, so many scans have been spent. Like 7, 8, 9 scans just to get rid of all the creep. And the great thing is, let's look at the queen count. There's only 4 queens, but even this 1 queen doing a pretty good job of just trying to keep active tumors on every path. She's trying to respread as quickly as she can. And Firefox has just kind of like drained so much potential income. Because Vindicta hasn't been able to drop mules. Look at the income tab. It's a bit behind on the income. It's basically using everything for scans right now. Scanning that to try and see if a hive started. Says, okay, there's no hive. I've got time. There's no Vipers. 2 tanks building at a time right now. We've got 1 factory there. Where's the other factory? It's at the 3rd base. So as the tank count grows, since the creep's been held back, Vindicta should be able to launch a good attack on the 5th base in the center of the map. Maybe force a big trade, and that's Vindicta's dream. If there's one map which plays to Vindicta's style, it is Catalyst. Lots of ledges, lots of areas to set up those nice pre-spreads. These Marines coming in from all angles, but Hydras and Ling's going to get on top of this one. Good defense by Firefox, but the pressure is on and the creep is receding. The loss of those creep queens early is a mistake. It did cause some issues. Notice he's replacing injecting queens because he's bringing injecting queens to the front to try and respread the tumors, trying to keep up with this war. This tug-of-war over the map control, which Vindicta is realizing is so crucial to him winning this game. He's like, I gotta stop this creep, but It's costing him so many units that I am a little bit worried. On the plus side, more tech labs have now come down. Notice there is an extra tech lab there, an extra tech lab there. As the Marauder count grows, the Banelings are less effective. And for a player who stays stuck on lair tech for very long, a wall of Marauders covering an army of Marines and siege tanks is a scary, scary prospect. Concussive shells is on the way. +2 vehicle weapons, 3-3. These upgrades, all consolidated around a big spread through the middle with like 10 siege tanks. If there's no Vipers out, you just get wrecked as the Zerg player. I think Vindicta can afford to still be patient. You know, start clearing creep, but don't give him a fight that he wants. Don't let him flank you. Don't let him surround you. That's what Firefox wants. Firefox is maxed. Firefox has banked a lot of money, but Firefox is not going to the late game. There's no Vipers. There's no Hive. Firefox is clearly a mid-game focused beast, and if Vindicta can realize that and simply wait for a few more tanks, a few more Marines and Marauders, wait for the upgrades, Vindicta will be in a good spot. But if Vindicta tries to force the issue, he will be in trouble. That was a nice little trade there. Trying to move these tanks forward. He's got to keep a huge spread and really just keep bringing these units across the map, as well as finishing that wall is actually so important. He totally forgot to finish his wall. I think that's pretty bad. Bio is a little bit clumped right now. We've got the pre-spread of Hydra Bane on all sides, but these ones on the left actually aren't really going to be able to flank yet. These units need to go up and come in from the rear. If they don't come from that angle, then it's going to basically just be units choking here and choking here. And while these ones will be able to spread up into that open area, these ones will get massively funneled once they kill the first few siege tanks. So you see the Overseers, they come forward. He's trying to get vision, and this is what Firefox is a master of. He's going to come from all sides. There's no Banelings on the right. The Marines collapse on the Hydras on the right-hand side, and they all go down, but there's too many Banelings, Lings, and Hydras. Vindicta, once again, caught with half of his army at home. 5 siege tanks, a ton of Marauders and Marines not in the engagement. And that's exactly what I was talking about. He needed to bring a full maxed army. Yes, he had +3 weapons, but he didn't have +3 armor. All of his new Marauders that were going to add so much to that fight weren't there just yet. The Medivacs boosting in and getting shot down. I think Firefox might be overextending though. Where's the Ling Bane Hydra? Oh no, the Hydra's engaging on their own. Firefox got a bit excited there. Popped a bit of a stiffy and went in dry. That was not a good move from Firefox. Vindicta's back in the game, guys. You cannot afford to lose that many Hydras unless you have like 90 drones. 70 drones cannot replenish that many Hydras. And I think Firefox is realizing this was an overstepping of his bounds. He went in a very scrappy fashion. I think a little bit excited to think, oh, I've got the 2-0 in my grasp. I've got the game. If he just waited, consolidated the army, respread creep, maybe jumped on an exposed base or counterattacked into the natural, it could have been big. You got to give up this base, Firefox. You can't defend this. There is no way you've got the numbers. He's going to try for it. A good Baneling rally comes in, but oh my god, the tank fire is huge. A couple of siege tanks go down. The Hydra Concave is huge right now, but it's 3-3 versus 1-2 Hydras. The +2 melee not helping in this battle. And I'll tell you what, +3 Marines and Marauders against +1 Hydras. I know who wins that fight. GG, well played, Vindicta. Once again, I think caught out in the open. Lost a lot of momentum there, but Firefox didn't have a next step. Firefox is very much a player who wants to receive a big attack, crush it, counterattack, win the game. The Hive's not fast. The 3-3's not fast. The Vipers aren't fast. The Broodlords aren't fast. It's all about the mid-game for Firefox. If Vindicta can catch on to that and understand that and adjust the play accordingly, it's going to look really good for the Terran player. Oh my god, these games are exciting, dude. Where are we in the bracket? Some people were asking before. I don't know, guys. I'm going to do a quick shout out for the fact that I'm doing a newbie stream the day after tomorrow. If you want free coaching, you can always type !noob, N-E-W-B, because that's how I spell noob, even though I normally go double O, I don't know. Noob, kind of like Newt, like Eye of Newt, Eye of Noob. It's what you use in a potion. It's what Gosu players drink. It's what pro gamers drink. Eye of Noob. Let me make sure these guys invite. They are, thank God. So where are we in the bracket? That's what people were asking before. Let's double check on me second monitor. We're only a few rounds from qualification at this point. Maybe very close to qualification. Not 100% sure. Wow, we've got like 1,200 people watching. Thank you so much, guys. Glad you're hanging out, enjoying this stream, enjoying the games. I'm very happy I'm able to bring you this match. For anyone who's just tuned in, it is 1-1 between these two guys, and I think the coolest part is, yeah, no one's updating Wikipedia, unfortunately, so we only have the scrappy bracket to look at. Okay, so I think that's the qualification. Oh yeah, we're getting to, there's qualification matches like right now. Is this even one of them? No, this part of the bracket's a little bit behind. Winner of this has to play disc to qualify. Cool. So anyway, this is 1-1. This player down here took down Massa earlier on. Has had a very hard bracket, but he's looking good. The Zerg player in the bottom right, in the purple, it is Firefox. And up here in the top left-hand side, the blue player, the Terran, it is Vindicta. Cool. So it is Acid Plant, a bit of a bigger map. I'm trying to think when I'm going to squeeze in lunch. I think as soon as this game finishes, I'll grab another series while throwing on an ad break. I'll microwave some butter chicken, and I will dart back here, and I'll wolf that down. Hopefully while the game is loading up or in between games. But we'll see. We'll see if I can squeeze that in. We got to cast some nice EU matches at the start of today's stream. Did IC4 before that as well. It was pretty cool. I think 300 people actually signed up for the qualifier today. Is that correct? No, that's the people viewing the tournament bracket. Okay. I was like, whoa, that's an insane bracket. That's crazy. I think you need to be masters to join this tournament. Not 100% sure. It might be open. So anyway, winner of this plays Disc. Jon Snow and M. Canning are playing for a qualification spot, I believe. Or maybe not a qualification spot. Oh, no, because the top... Actually, no, you need to win another match past that. Zakata and Future are playing, and Neeb and Antis are playing. And then, yeah, okay, because you need to get top 2 in the upper bracket. And then top 2 from the lower bracket is what ends up going through. Top 4 players from today will go through to the WCS NA Challenger Tournament. Should be some good fun. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Reaper Expand is going to be coming out. Fast Factory. Once again, Barracks Gas Reaper Expand for Vindicta. All right, this is my favorite build for quite a while. Used it the other day in a clan match to great effect. I do really like this opening, and I feel like Vindicta has good flexibility. We've seen Hellion Banshee. We've seen Hellion into Widowmine drop with a Viking. We've seen a good amount of variety, and that's important because as the Zerg, that's the strength of this factory starboard openings. You don't know what's coming out of them. As the Zerg player, like he's going to scout in a little bit. He's going to see factory starboard, and he's going to go, well, it could be a Liberator, a Viking, a Banshee, or a drop. It could be anything. It's the flexibility and the ability of a Terran player in a tournament to switch between modes, use different things, and keep the Zerg on their toes and find an opening, right? No, don't make the Zerg's job easy. That's one of the most important things at very high level Terran versus Zerg play. And arguably Terran versus anything. The best Terrans are the guys who mix it up. I mean, people talk about Maru and how he just does these like crazy, wild, different builds all the time. That's part of why he's so hard to play against. Because he's so capable of so many different things. You can't just assume there's a certain thing on the way. Now this Reaper has gone home. I think maybe he thought a few Zerglings snuck out the right-hand side. Maybe, oh, he's just waiting for the Hellions. Fair enough, wanted to group up. It's a Lingbane bust. Firefox is going all in, guys. Firefox is going all in. Goes for the wraparound, tries to get a Hellion, but that's not going to work out. It does damage the Hellion, but yeah, good micro by Vindicta. Oh! The Hellion went down. Oh, he was cutting that corner way too tight. And, I mean, that already rings alarm bells. As Vindicta, you've got immediate Banshee, immediate Cloak. I'm not sure if he cancelled a different starport unit, but if I see someone doing weird shit with their Zerglings, you've got to be like that. And these Zerglings are going to go hide. They're going to run around the right-hand side of the map. Remember, as the Terran, you don't have a lot of info at this stage. Your wall is not up. This is the moment where you're very dangerous. Hellions are already rallied in the mineral patch where they can't get surrounded. Vindicta playing so safe. Seeing no drones on the third, no queens up the front. Already Vindicta should have alarm bells ringing. Vindicta, you've got to know at this point that there's a good chance something aggressive is coming your way. The Banshee's almost out. These Hellions are going to poke, but there's already Ling Bane here. Lings are going to run in. They're going to surround on this Hellion. That command center not going to be able to go down. These Hellions come forward. The Lings are coming in. The Banelings aren't ready. So even though this was a good opportunistic dive, the Hellion pull is massive. The Zerglings are taking a very bad engagement here. A really, really bad engagement. Hellions coming from behind with the Reaper trying to bait out those Banelings. But that was such a sick cleanup in the mineral line. Firefox jumped the gun. A player like Vindicta, he's not bad enough to just screw up his micro. He used the hold position SCVs. The Hellions could not get access, and the Zerglings were clumped up so much trying to get to the Hellions. They all got roasted. A great hold for Vindicta. He kills so many units. How many SCVs did he lose? 12? That's nothing. As long as he leaves a Banshee at home. As long as he leaves a Banshee... Oh, Vindicta, you crazy person. It's wave 2 of the Lingbanal, and of course it's wave 2. Don't go across the map with your Banshees. You need to leave a Banshee out front. But he's not doing it. Oh, once again, Firefox jumping the gun, though. Going in without the Banelings. No, you need the Banelings. Otherwise, the Hellions can just micro behind the minerals like this. This is not well executed by Firefox. You know, it's a great call in a high-pressure situation to go for a Ling Bane timing, but these Banelings just are coming in after all the Lings are dead. Units need to complement each other. Firefox not finding the damage. Great micro from Vindicta on the backside of this. Both Banshees did pull home, and even though he loses a few more SCVs, this is still a good hold for Vindicta. Equal work account, and guess what? Third command center's almost finished in the main. This has been, I think, a missed opportunity for Firefox with both attacks. I think you've got to wait for those Banelings. You know, I've been really cheering for Firefox here. Remember, even if Firefox loses, we'll have a chance in the lower bracket. But Firefox knocked Massa out of this tournament. Looked so good in a crushing game 1. In that game 2, overextended. I feel like Firefox may be getting a little bit excited and overextending here, potentially. And we'll see exactly how we go. Overlord in the main base does spot. It is going to be a mech transition here. And Spores and Lair are on the way. Where are those Banshees? They're both at home, right? Yeah. So this is the one thing. I mean, he's forced Vindicta to be very careful. I honestly think he should have skipped the Spores. As Firefox, you know, keep poking to check the Banshees are there and delay the Spores and only start them about now. But you know what? The Banshees get across the map pretty quick. Ground units take a long time to weave across. The pathways, Banshees, though, are going to do a pretty good job of it. 42 drones to 36, and 1-1 upgrade's already halfway done for Terran. This is the stuff Zerg nightmares are made of. Ooh, almost takes down a Banshee, but no connecting Spore. Means this area in the middle turns into a death zone. That Queen does get out of there, though. Banshee's just going to chill for now. Yeah, double Thor drop will be coming out. The second Thor did not start. A little bit gas-starved is Vindicta, just now putting on these gases on the natural. And does have both medevacs out, but I think doesn't realize he forgot the other Thor. The Thor drop will be so hard for Firefox to stop. And Firefox is gambling on Aspire, even though he knows it's mech play. Against a double Thor drop that's going to hit before your mutas are even out. That's terrible. Really bad position for Firefox. It's going to clear up these Banshees, try and respread the creep. It's good. Mutas are definitely one of the good moves from behind against mech, where you can like just run in and kill workers and stuff. It's going to be tough though, because especially if the Hellions join up with Hellbat Thor and Banshee, or just hit the third base. Don't think Firefox have the units. Firefox is still droning as these Thors are moving out. Thankfully, that delay on the second Thor is really slowing this push down. So might have time to get out a wave of mutas, but definitely an awkward position right now. Leaving them... Oh, putting them in single fire mode. That's actually worse against Mutalisks than the splash damage mode. It's better for killing Overlords. Bad for killing mutas. So that could help. That could help Firefox right here. This is something where otherwise your Thors will take forever to just kill an Overlord. So I do like putting them in single fire mode as well, but it kind of sucks when mutas surprise you. Banshee does go down. These Thors are going to get spotted. Firefox, let's go to Firefox's camera. Firefox knows, has 11 mutas on the way. Ling's coming into the main. Queen's coming back here as well. We're on Firefox's camera right now, trying to deal with these Thors. The Lings get the wraparound, but these are 2 armor Thors. No, 3 armor Thors. They've got +1 carapace. Oh my god, the Lings just do nothing. The mutas have been spotted. Vindicta immediately swaps into splash damage mode and gets the hell out of there. Oh, Vindicta, too good, dude. The Muta's going to try and chase it down. That's a fool's errand. You're not going to get that. You are not going to catch those. Vindicta, you got to drop. There we go. Vindicta does drop. Okay. The splash damage, of course, does massive damage there. The Lings are going to come in, and these Thors are going to get bounced around, but instantly the Hellions kill them. The Thors smashing the nutmutts. The medevacs do go down, but not a great trade there. The Mutas have been evaporated. And now he's allowed to skip turrets at home. He's building more Thors. He's building more Hellions. His 2-2's almost done. At which point, how do you possibly deal with that? It's just mass mutiling for Firefox. I think +2 is the magic upgrade, where if they don't have carapace, you actually 2-shot Mutalisks. We'll get to find that out in about 40 seconds. I don't think the stats have changed enough for that to be any different. So that's a huge turning point. Rather than 3 shots, 2 shots to kill mutas is massive. And I believe +1 carapace cancels that, but if they get +3 weapons, then it's always a 2-shot. +2 isn't done just yet, but the mutas are heavily bruised. They're going to fly on into that main base. Medevac's trying to get down there to bring Thors up here. Mutas are diving. Firefox just trying to make a game here. He's got an infestation pit. No swarm hosts are probably the best transition from here. What you got to do is Firefox. I mean, shit, I'd even be trying to sneak Lings in for a counterattack at this point. The Hellions are kind of out of position. Oh, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. Those mutas are so clumped. Ow, 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 ow. +2 is about to kick in. So hopefully we'll find out about that 2-shot theory soon. But I don't think the mutas are going to hang around very long. Oh my god, that does a lot of damage. So, Swarm Hosts, the first 10 of them on the way. Is there a Baneling nest out? There is, yeah. Banelings can clear Hellbats and Hellions. Swarm Hosts can kill Thors and tanks. The problem is it is, of course, 2-2 Thors and tanks and Hellbats. But, I mean, this is the best chance as Firefox. Try to delay. Try to buy time. These mutas should be counterattacking as much as possible right now. Yeah, don't fight the army. Those mutas should be hitting a mineral line, I think, or reinforcement or something. 12 Banelings on the way. 17 Swarm Hosts on the way. Firefox is doing his best, but oh man, I think you see this as Vindicta and you say, he's got nothing? He doesn't have anything. I think another scan ahead to check the army is very important. If these Banelings get the money hit, oh, clumped up Hellbats, because he's trying to spread, but good spreads. Does lose a lot of the Hellbats, but there's still enough left. Mutas, Zerglings, Banelings in very small counts, and no, the Mutalists accidentally walk into the Thors, and they eat a cluster of Javelin missiles that these Locusts cannot land on their Hellbats. Oh no, not quick enough to micro them. You've got to land those on the tanks. You've got to land them on the Thors. The Mutas come forward. They're trying to do this, but a volley takes out the last of the Mutmuts. The Locusts going down. All the Hellbats have been cleared, but more Hellions frantically reinforcing. They have Blue Flame. They have 2-2. This is not a force to be trifled with. Those Swarm Hosts may have been able to recycle the units and hang on. I would have loved to see Firefox stay a little bit longer, but realistically, there was about 30 seconds before he could launch another Locust wave. He was going to lose the third, all of his drones. It would have taken a miracle to come back from there, but Firefox showing some incredible play. I am a fan. Firefox has made me a fan. The only Oligulac or Wikipedia I could find is for a French player called Firefox. I don't know if anyone answered me in chat if they know who Firefox is or anything. Because I've never heard of Firefox before other than, I think I've played him on ladder a few times. I haven't heard of him in pro tournaments. Knocked Master out, almost beat Vindicta, looked really good throughout. Played that so well from behind. I think early game screwed the pooch with the Ling Bane. That the Lings going in on their own, committing to a mineral line. No, Vindicta was solid. Hellions in the mineral line, SCVs buffering. You're not going to kill that with Zerglings. You need Banelings to actually kill it all. So I think the disconnect between the Lings and the Banes was a fatal error. It did end up costing Firefox. Vindicta goes through to the next stage. And yeah, very well played, Vindicta. Good